Came across a video today by a person named Sephrica, I believe. I might be mispronouncing it. I apologize if it is. I'll link the original video in the description. She's got some pretty good content. Y'all might want to check her out. She's a new up-and-comer, I think. Either way, she did a video about Days Gone and what she thinks the game is and what it's about, what it's going to deliver. And after watching it, it got me thinking, and I wanted to just add to what she kind of dived into on Days Gone. I think that the community as a whole, or at least from the people that I've talked to and follow and that sort of thing, a lot of people are sleeping on this game, and I think a lot of those people don't realize who Sony Bend is. More importantly, was they were once known as 989s, and they were the geniuses behind Siphon Filter. And if you're not familiar with Siphon Filter back in PS1 days, you need to go do a little Googling. And I know the game does not age well as far as graphically, but if you look past the surface and pay attention to the animations and the sheer level of detail that went into Siphon Filter, you know that this game is going to deliver on all fronts. And to dive a little bit more into that, and why I'm bringing up the past to talk about the future, is because Siphon Filter was groundbreaking in a lot of ways. Things like shooting out every light on the map just for the hell of it if you wanted to, or to use it to gain the upper hand on your opponents. The game was very, very much a Metal Gear Solid type game, if you will. And so there's a lot of it's a very tactical third-person shooter. It's very espionage based. If you like espionage type games, you're a spy. There's a lot of stealth in the game, and a lot of gadgetry. It is just a phenomenal series. I believe there's 3 or 4 of them, and that game, how I remember it, how I remember it, it was just simply amazing and mind-blowing. And when I saw the reveal trailer of Days Gone, you could see, and after I watched the extra footage that was released, and I kind of really paid more attention to the details and whatnot of the game, I started to pick up on some things, and I believe that the foundation of Days Gone is very much based on Siphon Filter. And I mean, obviously, the game was heavily inspired by Sons of Anarchy and World War Z, and which I think is kind of a beautiful mix. And I'll dive into that more in a little bit. But what I saw within the gameplay that was shown was that when it first reveals that he's on the bike and he gets off the bike and he walks down the hill and he's in this little campsite outside of a lumber yard. He goes into that big truck and pulls out the oil filter and makes a makeshift silencer. Well, the silencer on the surface is like, oh, well, you can shoot somebody to not alert, the freakers, or the zombie horde, if you will, even though they're not Walking Dead, so they're not zombies, but either way. So that oil filter can only be used 1 or 2 shots before it's useless at that point. It will no longer suppress the audio coming from the shot. So that in itself, right, the detail of, okay, you can only use it twice. You got to be very tactical in how you go about using that found piece, that silencer. And that plays into how Siphon Filter was back in the day. It also points to situations where, for instance, he's chasing that guy, right? We don't know who that guy is, but in the trailer, he's chasing this dude, not a zombie, if you will, but like an actual human. And that tells me that you're going to have a lot of encounters with real people. And because he's using, makeshift silencers and that sort of thing, it shows that he's going to have the ability to have a lot of different gadgets, like the little bomb he used to explode all the logs that were in a stack. I think you're going to do a lot of sneaking around if that's what you choose to do, because obviously it's an open world game. Obviously it has day and night cycles with weather and that sort of thing. So you can choose to go in, infiltrate a camp, if you will, at night and take a more stealth approach, or you can go in guns a-blazing, because the game is supposed to be action-packed, over the top, with gunplay. But I think what they haven't shown yet is the element of surprise or the stealth attacks. And I think that using the gadgets and stuff, it's going to play a lot of homage to, the old Siphon Filter games. And I think that is going to be in a beautiful blend. And the fact that they're using a post-apocalyptic zombie, presence, I think is more about how having a post-apocalyptic world with zombies, not to mention, hordes of them, because that's a whole nother thing in itself. But having the zombies as a threat in the game is going to cause a sorry about that, I had a phone call. It's going to cause for some really exciting gameplay elements. When you have zombies on the map or hordes that can come up on you at any given time, it forces the player to be it you or the character on screen in the narrative that is being presented to be forced into situations that you wouldn't normally encounter without there being a zombie presence. So that part I'm really looking forward to. But like I said, the other thing is the narrative. The overall narrative, I should say, the premise of the game. If it's heavily influenced by Sons of Anarchy, that means the story is going to have a lot of dips and dives, turns, and jaw-dropping moments. It's not going to steer away from emotional connections with characters and loss and that sort of thing. And hopefully, for me, more importantly, aggression. I want to see intense aggression from the protagonist. I love moments like that, be it in film or games. And I do know that there is a good amount of violence and gore, which you know me, I love that. I read some articles where there is body dismemberment, so you can take a sawed-off shotgun and blow somebody's head off like that. That's the kind of stuff that gets me excited. So I want to see more of that. I want to see more of the stealth mechanics, and I want to see more of how you can use the gadgetry and the environment to your ability, not just against zombie hordes, but our freaker hordes, but against other human AI, because I want to be able to attack and kill and destroy human AI, because that's what I love to do. Let me know what you guys think about Days Gone, if you think people are sleeping on it, if you're one of those people that are sleeping on it, and why you're sleeping on it, or why you're going to pass up on it, or whatever. Let me know in the comment section. Appreciate it.